Hi guys, can I just say welcome to the channel. Thank you for dropping in and spending a bit of time with me today. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about light. There are two types of light. There's the natural light outside, and then there's the artificial light. No matter what it is, if it's not natural light, then it's artificial light. And we as photographers, all that we're trying to do, we're trying to create beautiful, soft light. So really, we're mimicking what is outside. The reason why we don't always use natural light is because natural light isn't controllable. So depending upon the time of day, depending whether it's cloud cover or it's noon, then that limits us. When we shoot in the studio, we're trying to recreate natural light, but we're trying to control it in the confines of a studio. I did a series, which I'll put here, which talked about a one light setup. I think it showed you 5 types of lighting you can do with just one light. But today, we're going to be talking about shaping light at this fundamental level. So stay tuned. I want to show the relationship between this speed light and the sun. The basic rule in photography is the larger the light source in relationship to the subject, the softer the light becomes. The further away the light source is in relationship to the subject, the harder the light is. And by hardness, we mean how strong the contrast between shadow and highlights are. So let's take the sun. The sun is over 90 million miles away from the Earth and is over 8.5 million miles across. So it's a very large light source. But compared to the Earth and us, it appears as a small light source. Remember the basic rule, the closer the light, the softer it is. The sun is so far away, it gives the appearance of being a very small light source. That's why shooting at midday without cloud cover can be problematic. On a bright and cloudy day, this has an effect on softening the light because the sun is coming through the cloud and the cloud is scattering the light. So now the light becomes softer. The whole sky becomes almost like a natural softbox. So let's get back to the speed light. Compared to me, this is a very small light source. So it's going to produce very hard, contrasty light, which is not going to be very flattering or pleasing. So let's show you a few examples of this. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to set it up, I'm going to take a few pictures of myself, and you see how unflattering it is without modifying it at all. So to get better light from this small speed light, we're going to shape it by placing it into a modifier. Modifiers come in all different shapes, all different sizes, all different kind of prices, and this is beyond the remit of today's video. So come with me and let's try and get better light from this. And the first thing we're going to use is an umbrella. So this is a small 33-inch translucent umbrella. It costs between 10 and 15 pounds, and it's your first line of defense when it comes to modifying light. So I'm going to do a quick setup and then I'll show you the results of using this type of modifier. So what we need a light stand. We also need a bracket. This is called an S bracket. Doesn't cost very much, but very useful. Can't stress that enough. So what we're going to do, we're going to place the speed light. It sort of clamps into the bracket. Then the bracket goes onto your stand. The nice thing about the bracket is it does angle, so that's quite nice. And then we get our translucent umbrella and we pop it through the hole in the S bracket. And what you want to do, you want the whole rod to be furthest away from here in order for light to disperse on here. So now, in theory, we have a bigger light source. So let's take a few pictures of what this looks like compared to just using the bare light. So there we go, by just using a simple shoot-through umbrella, we've extended the size of our light and we made it a bit softer. I think this type of light modifier is good if you're just starting out, but this size has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. The advantages are that it's light, it's cheap, it's easy to carry to locations. However, the downside is because it is light, it can get caught in the wind and it break easily because after all, it's just an umbrella. And the biggest thing I think is it's very difficult, nigh impossible, to actually control the spill of light. So if you noticed in our example, the light was spilled everywhere, which sometimes you want and sometimes you don't want. Anyway, guys, I hope you found that informative and useful. Stay tuned because on the next video, we should do the equivalent of the softbox. In the meantime, thanks for joining me and of course, stay safe and happy shooting.